Namaste everyone. In today's video, let's have a discussion on the term state. It's one of the often repeated short questions as far as public international law is concerned. Before we proceed into the video, kindly take a moment to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Some of the key definitions that we often come across includes one given by Salmon. He says that state is consisting of a community of people, and this community has been established for some objectives or goals such as internal order or external security. There is Oppenheim who talks about existence of a state being a possibility only when the people of the state have settled under a highest governmental authority and are decidedly following the orders that are being issued by this governmental authority. There is the article of Montevideo Convention, which talks about four essential ingredients: a permanent population, a defined territory, a government, and a capacity to enter into relationships with other states. Nothing but treaties and conventions. According to Oppenheim, the most basic essential elements includes population, which is fixed, that is, it should not be a floating population. There should be a defined territory. There could be disputes, but the country should be able to showcase that it is having a territory. It should be able to put out a map saying that these are the four corners of my country. There should be established government. The government could be democracy or it could be even a case of having a monarchy. That doesn't matter, but there should be an established government and the country should have sovereignty so that it can enter into international relations with other nations. Holland is adding one more essential element, which is nothing but civilization. Only if a country is civilized in nature, it becomes an international person with whom other countries will have the interest to create relations on basis of treaties and conventions. Even though Salmon is saying that sovereignty is one of the essential elements of a state, in the present day scenario, we need to understand that many of the states have voluntarily given up a part of their sovereignty when they are ready and willingly entering into various kinds of treaties. Stark has remarked on this particular idea, saying that the term sovereignty in the present day century is having a much restricted meaning when compared to the 18th-19th century. Now, this restriction is acknowledged and it is voluntarily taken up by the states. And in the present day scenario, there is hardly any state which can say that no, I don't want any international treaties or conventions. I don't want to be part of any international group. This has become essential for any trade and commerce to flourish across the world. Therefore, every state has voluntarily accepted certain levels of restrictions upon itself by way of treaties and conventions. India is no stranger to this situation, as was acknowledged by the Supreme Court in Union of India versus Sukumar Sen Gupta case. Here, the court pointed out that under general international law, the concept of interdependence of states has come to be accepted. It is rather inevitable, to be frank, and customary restraints upon the sovereignty of a nation is not frowned upon. One of the most important rights that is guaranteed under the international law with respect to that of recognized states is that all states are to be treated equally, irrespective of their territorial size, population, power, civilization, or even their prosperity. One of the most important elements that comes under international law is that all states are to be treated equally, irrespective of their territory, population, power, civilization, or even prosperity. Which in essence means that when a question regarding consensus of the nation arises, each nation can exactly cast only one single vote, be it a tiny island like that of Sri Lanka, or be it Nepal or Bhutan, or even a giant of a nation such as Russia or China, or a powerful nation such as USA. All get to cast only one single vote. So it is irrespective of their power, their territorial size, their population on all these matters. But of course, there are certain exceptions to this rule, most notable among them being the veto power that is guaranteed to the permanent members of the Security Council, the five big members of the Security Council. The idea here is that the legal importance of the votes of a weak nation as well as a strong nation is one and the same. Vote cast by USA is equal to the vote cast by India. There is no difference between the two. Apart from that, one another important element that is being brought out is that states cannot exercise jurisdiction over one another. This is something that has been repeatedly explained and applied in many international cases. Generally, courts of one state cannot challenge the validity of the official activities of another state, which means that the sovereignty of each and every nation is guarded and kept intact at all points in time, unless otherwise they have given up certain aspects of their sovereignty via treaties and various conventions. We also need to understand that when we are talking about equality among the nations, we are talking about legal equality and not political equality. Politically speaking, the power that is being put out by, let's say, one of the big five countries like Britain or USA is not equal to that the power that can be put out by a nation, a tiny nation such as Sri Lanka or Bhutan. It's not possible. In that sense, politically, states are not treated as equals. United Nations Charter is based on the principle of sovereign equality of the states, but in reality, we need to understand that the powers that the greater states have, such as the five big nations, is much different from that of the power that a smaller nation can exude. This equality of states is actually a general principle, but there are, of course, many important exceptions to this rule. With this, we are coming to an end to this particular session. If at all a question is asked regarding state, start with the definition of the state, the essential ingredients or elements of a state, then explain what is meant by the sovereignty of state, then talk about legal equality and political equality of the state. If you cover all these areas, your answer will be complete. If you found this video informative, kindly like, share, and subscribe to my channel. We will meet again in yet another video. Thank you. Have a good day.